There's nothing subtle about 1972 Topps. Color frames the photo, team names stretch across the top in bold lettering. The design feels almost architectural. And behind all of it, 787 cards, the largest set Topps had ever released. So why did Topps decide to go bigger and bolder at the same time? By 1972, baseball was settling into a new shape. Divisions were only a few years old, franchises had moved, the league looked different than it had just a few years earlier. And Topps followed that shift. 787 cards, 6 separate series released across the season. It was the largest checklist they had attempted. And with that kind of scale, they could have simplified the design, make it quieter. Instead, they leaned into color. And that decision ends up shaping almost every card in the set. In 1972, Topps didn't use one border color. Teams shared a handful of bold colors. Not just a thin border, a full block of color. Red, orange, blue, green. With all the cards in the set, color became structure. Flip through a stack and the teams reveal themselves almost immediately. Keep going and the colors start to take over, one after another. The photograph rests inside a rounded frame, softer than the sharp edges of the year before. At the top, the team name stretches across a colored panel, printed in bold, rounded lettering that feels distinctively early 1970s. Nothing about it feels subtle. When you line a few of them up next to each other, you really notice it. It doesn't feel like a quiet background design. The frame stands out just as much as the player does. But the bold design isn't the only reason 1972 stands out. Because this set didn't just experiment visually, it layered itself. And that changes how it feels when you move through the cards. The photography is a mix of posed portraits and action shots. Early 70s stadium backgrounds, soft skies, dugout rails, and outfield walls. Inside those bright panels, the images feel grounded. Then there are the subsets. League leaders cards place multiple stars inside the same bold frame. In-action cards lean further into movement, pushing the photography beyond simple portraits. Playoff highlights look back at the previous October, moments from the 1971 League Championship Series. Then came the World Series highlights, revisiting Pittsburgh's victory over Baltimore. And those postseason cards appear fairly early in the checklist, so the story of October 1971 shows up in packs throughout the following season. And of course, the boyhood photos cards, childhood images placed inside one of the loudest designs of the decade. Memories framed by color. The set doesn't feel minimal, it keeps adding layers. And with nearly 800 cards, that layering never really stops. The rookie cards appear throughout the checklist, led by Carlton Fisk. Fisk's rookie card is framed in green, a color that feels right at home for Boston. The photograph remains steady, posed, direct, uncomplicated. Nothing flashy, just a young catcher at the start of his career. Dave Kingman appears early here at the beginning of what would become one of the game's most recognizable bats of the 1970s. Ron Say's rookie card arrives near the end of the checklist, a future cornerstone for the Dodgers infield throughout the decade. The bold design doesn't overpower these cards, it surrounds them. But it's strong enough that the design becomes part of what you remember. And because the frame is so recognizable, the rookies feel anchored in their moment. You just don't remember the player, you remember the card. Released across 6 series, the 1972 Topps didn't arrive all at once. It unfolded through the season, new cards appearing in waves, and checklists growing gradually. But the set had one more twist near the end of the year. Late in the season, Topps introduced their traded cards, players shown with their new teams. They appeared in packs alongside the final series, so as the season moved forward, the cardboard could change with it. It was a small addition, but that idea would return in later years. 1972 doesn't blend quietly into the decade. It's easy to recognize. The color, the rounded frame, the lettering at the top. Nearly 800 cards built around a very specific visual identity. It was a big set, but it never feels quiet, and it still stands out the moment it's laid on a table. Thank you so much for watching, and once again, we'll see you next time as we go beyond the cardboard.